What's up, guys? K Wills here to bring you my review of WWE's Royal Rumble 2012. So let's begin. So the opening match was the World Heavyweight Championship match between Daniel Bryan, Mark Henry, and the Big Show in a steel cage. I have to say though, this match seemed a bit short, and with the whole Daniel Bryan, how he was trying to get out the cage so quickly, it was pretty good for Daniel Bryan's part because, he's facing against the world's largest athlete and the world's strongest man, so you would think that somebody like Daniel Bryan would try to escape multiple times. But, something with this match during the end when Daniel Bryan won and he escaped, some people were saying that Daniel Bryan or somebody had botched because during the match, near the end, Big Show, Big Show, he was holding Daniel Bryan on by the hand. And then people were saying that Daniel Bryan had let go by accident or something. I'm not sure if that was supposed to happen, but anyways, Daniel Bryan won the match. It was a decent opening match. I expected Daniel Bryan to retain the title because, the first title reign for anybody, even if it's the United States Championship or the Intercontinental Championship or whatever, the first title reign means something, And for Daniel Bryan to become a World Heavyweight Champion, be a legitimate one, he needs to have like a good reign, And I'm glad that he didn't lose the title. So the next match was a random Divas match. It was a tag team match. It was between the team of Beth Phoenix, Natalya, and the Bella Twins versus Kelly, Eve Torres, Alicia Fox, and Tamina. Now, I was very surprised to see this match, and I was glad to see Beth Phoenix because I don't know if she was injured or not, but it was good to see that the Divas champion, back in action because I don't know if she was injured or not. And the match was interesting because all on Beth's team, everybody was wearing blue, and then on on Kelly's team, everybody was wearing like some bright orange, except for Tamina. She was wearing like some leopard skin, something like that. Her usual outfit, but it was weird because I don't know what the colors were supposed to represent or something, or maybe because it was just the Royal Rumble, or maybe actually no. I think about it now, because you know how with the WrestleMania main event for The Rock against John Cena, John Cena's aura for the poster is like blue and The Rock's is orange. I don't know if it's supposed to mean something like that. But anyways, Beth Phoenix's team wins. She actually gets the victory over Kelly. Not the greatest Divas match, but it was good to see Beth Phoenix because, to show that, she's still the dominant Divas champion. And from what we saw from the Royal Rumble's return, it looks like Beth Phoenix is going to start appearing more and actually have a good storyline with a certain somebody, which I'll get into later. So, yeah, then also during this pay-per-view, we saw two promos of The Rock and John Cena, talking about their careers and about WrestleMania. And I thought that was pretty good because it leads more build-up towards, the main event instead of post the main event, WrestleMania. And I actually, I didn't mind the two promos. I didn't look at them that much, but it was good for them to have those two promos. And so the next match was between Kane and Undertaker. Kane and John Cena, excuse me. Oh, man. This match in the ring, Kane worked alright. He was good in the ring. It's good seeing the flying clothesline and moves like that. It was both John Cena and Kane were outside in the ring, and they both, were out of the ring until the 10 count, so nobody won the match. And during, this time, Kane was beating up on John Cena, and then he would go after Zack Ryder because he was in the pay-per-view, but he was in like a wheelchair. He was like strapped down because apparently he had an injury to his back. And then so Kane brings Zack Ryder to the ring and gives him to the tombstone, and then chokeslams Kane. And I'm glad the match ended like this because, I'm thinking more towards the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view that this whole thing with Kane and John Cena will get resolved, and who knows if John Cena's going to go with a heel turn or not, or more development with his character. But when John Cena and Kane were in the ring, it was alright, but it was kind of predictable that it was going to end in like a no contest and stuff like that. And Eve Torres had intervened. I didn't really care, but solid, I guess. It wasn't terrible. What can you say? And the next match was actually a surprise because I saw Drew McIntyre make his entrance. I'm like, Drew McIntyre, really? Royal Rumble? And the next time I see Brodus Clay, I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense for them to have Brodus Clay. And at first I thought that, okay, Drew McIntyre is going to give Brodus Clay some competition because he was like beating him up early, but that wasn't the case as Brodus Clay did his moves with the suplex and then with the splash, and then Brodus Clay wins again. But I think that Brodus Clay is entertaining, and I think he will go over in WWE. You know, it's entertaining, you know, seeing him dance and stuff. It's something that WWE's lacking, you know, the fun factor, like, you know, just chilling, having a good time. But sooner or later, they're gonna have to do something with Brodus Clay, you know, with his soul character, and maybe put him with a feud or something to see him wrestle more. Because I know he's like a 300-pounder, but still, I mean, he needs to start wrestling a little bit more. But so far, you know, he's entertaining. I have no problem with Brodus Clay or his gimmick. Like, it's entertaining, you know, somebody call my mama. It's funny. And yeah, Drew McIntyre, I don't know what WWE's going to do. Either they're going to do the same thing with like MVP, where he's on a losing streak, then he's going to make a face turn or something like that. But he needs to do something at least by WrestleMania, like at least matter, because I'm a fan of Drew McIntyre, and it sucks to see him, you know, always losing and jobbing to Santino Marella twice. But, you know, Drew McIntyre, let's see what they'll do with him later on. And then the next match was the WWE Championship match between CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler. Now, I got to say something about this match because, you know, John Laurinaitis was supposed to be the special guest referee. However, he was outside of the ring, and there was a regular referee, you know, doing his job in the ring. So John Laurinaitis was really more of a special enforcer because he wasn't really doing his job, and it's kind of like a lot of people in the chat where I was watching the pay-per-view, we were like, what the hell? Why is John Laurinaitis not in the ring doing the job as a referee? But, you know, the match itself was very, very good. They both performed, CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler, very well. I actually thought for a minute Dolph Ziggler was going to win, but CM Punk did retain the title. I was glad that he did because, you know, Dolph Ziggler, I'm a huge fan of Dolph Ziggler, and you know, ever since he debuted as Dolph Ziggler on Raw those years ago, but sooner or later in 2012 will be the year of Dolph Ziggler. He's going to break out to be a good main eventer depending on how WWE uses him. But, you know, it was important for CM Punk to win the WWE Championship, and John Laurinaitis pretty much was not really interfering as much. He was just ignoring CM Punk when the referee was out. But it was a good match by CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler, the match of the night, I have to say. And then the next we have the Royal Rumble match of 2012. You know, it started off with The Miz and Alex Riley, and I thought that was pretty cool because, you know, Alex Riley was kind of the apprentice to The Miz, but he gets eliminated quickly. And throughout this Royal Rumble, you know, at first it was pretty slow, you know, because the entrants were weird, because at first all three commentators were in the Royal Rumble, you know, Jerry the King Lawler, Booker T, and Michael Cole. Now, it makes sense for Booker T to be in there, and I kind of see why Lawler would be there. But for Michael Cole, I mean, that's kind of a waste in my opinion. But you know, something about this Royal Rumble felt lacking, like it was missing something. And who else? Also, Hacksaw Jim Duggan made his debut. He returned to the Royal Rumble, and he got the hugest crowd reaction. Even I was like, oh yeah. Hacksaw, you know, oh, like I was hyped to see him, and he was getting a huge crowd reaction. People were like on USA, doing the thumbs ups, you know, thumbs up and everything. It was good to see him back, and he got the best reaction from the crowd. And also from this Royal Rumble, we saw the return of Karma, because he was in there for briefly. She eliminated Hunico, which I thought was weird. But it was good to see Karma, because I think now that Beth Phoenix is going to start feuding with Karma now. And I think that I would like that match, Karma versus Beth Phoenix. It would be interesting, you know, to see how the two work together and bring something back to this Divas division. I think it could be a good rivalry between Karma and Beth Phoenix. But, you know, she was in there briefly, and Road Dogg made his appearance. It was funny, and Mick Foley was there, and they was doing this comedy thing with Mick Foley and Santino Marella. And also, who else? Ricardo Rodriguez. Because apparently Alberto Del Rio's music came, and I was like, oh, he's going to return. And next thing you know, we see Ricardo in like this broken up car, and he's dressed up as Alberto Del Rio, and he can actually wrestle people. If you look him up on FCW, he can actually wrestle. But it was just weird, and it was awkward, like seeing him dressed as Alberto Del Rio, and you know, he got eliminated quickly. But this Royal Rumble seemed more comical at first. You know, it was more of a comedy and not really taken seriously at first. But then later on, as more people came in, it was getting interesting. And actually, Chris Jericho had entered as number 29. And near the end of the Royal Rumble, it was Chris Jericho versus Sheamus, the only two. And I have to say, this is really funny because I always wanted Sheamus to win. I really wanted Sheamus to win. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, they probably make Chris Jericho win the Royal Rumble. It kind of makes sense, you know, with his character, that it's leaning towards Jericho. But as the two are going on back and forth, Sheamus gets the victory, and I was like, oh wow. I was marking out a little bit. I was like, oh, Sheamus wins the Royal Rumble, and you know he deserves it because you know he's been doing a lot. He's been beating up guys, and he hasn't really had any direction. But now that he won the Royal Rumble, maybe they can start feuding him up with Daniel Bryan or somebody else. But you know, I was surprised that Sheamus won because I wanted him to win, but I was thinking that oh Jericho's gonna probably win, but no, that wasn't the case. Jericho lost, and who knows, maybe Sheamus will win for the world title or the WWE title, but maybe for the world championship because since he never won that title. But you know, this Royal Rumble, it could have been better in my opinion if you had more like superstars instead of like the commentators like Michael Cole and the Kane. And I don't know, it just seemed more like comedy based for me, and it was missing something, like some sort of like factor. And I think you know with Big Show being number 30, it was actually weird because I thought they was gonna do something with Big Show and Chris Jericho because you know if they were former tag team champions, I'm like okay they might like have a little like in-ring competition, but no, nothing of that happens. And like the final four, I believe, was Sheamus, the Big Show, Chris Jericho, and Randy, yeah, Randy Orton, yeah, and I don't know. There's something in this Royal Rumble seemed like it was missing something, but Sheamus won. I'm glad. I'm not disappointed, but I know some people are because a lot of people probably wanted Chris Jericho to win. But that's pretty much my review. You know, this Royal Rumble was decent of a show. You know, one of WWE's major shows, but I think that it could have been a lot better, especially with the Royal Rumble. But let me know your thoughts below. What you thought about the Royal Rumble, the matches, and yeah, just give me your thoughts about it. And do you feel the way that I do, that something was missing in this Royal Rumble, and that was actually kind of more comical near the beginning? Yeah, it was actually more comical near the beginning and the middle of the Royal Rumble match. But let me know your opinions down below. Please subscribe if you did enjoy this video, and please thumbs up if you did like this video. And thank you for watching this review, and I'll see you guys later. And don't forget to subscribe. Peace.